Some people like Channing Tatum a lot and others can't seem to stand him all that much. He's a much better actor than he gets credit for at times, but he's also a guy that seems like a big brainless hunk at times that's there to look good and do a little real acting now and then. In all honesty though, he's the kind of guy that can look good and act and has no problem putting the two together on a regular basis. The fact that he doesn't get enough credit for this might come from the fact that he usually plays characters that are somewhat less than intelligent or a little too blunt in their manner, and therefore it would appear that he's tough but not incredibly smart. In truth, he's capable of using his head as well as his body to make a movie, and he's proved it more than once, but honestly, it seems as if such movies don't grab at the audience's attention that often. Here are some of the movies that could be called his best. Number 5. Magic Mike.
You want me to come up with something?
Yeah, man.
With all the arguments about men not having it as rough as women when it comes to anything really, it seems a bit hard to state that male strippers would have it as harder than women. But men in this film do receive the same stigma that women do, but to a far lesser degree obviously, since somehow to some people it's okay, but to others, it's still not all that cool of a profession once you're outside the club. Mike, however, wants to make a go at something he thinks is worthwhile and could allow him to become his own man. The only trouble is getting away from a lifestyle that allows for a lot of fun, despite the stress that goes with it. Number 4. Fighting. This film didn't get a whole lot of love from the box office, but it's not all that bad when you realize just what it's about and the fact that it could happen to a lot of people. Sean is doing what he can just to survive when he gets approached by Harvey, who knows a good fighter when he sees one. In the city, however, money is what talks, and while fighters may come and go, they tend to do so at the behest of those footing the bill. If they want to back someone they think is any good, then it means the other guy might have to take a fall and preserve the sanctity of those that want to collect without paying out. Number 3. 21 Jump Street.
I did read him as right. I did a version of that.
Any resemblance this film has to the TV show from which it gets its name is hard to see at times, since this is a completely new animal that is based off the show in some ways, but is still able to be its own thing. Jenko and Schmidt are two of the biggest screw-ups ever to join the force, but at the same time they're still cops and are still able to get down and dirty while upholding the law to a degree. As the jock of the duo, Jenko is the guy that's all action but very little brains, while Schmidt is the thinker and the planner. Of course, given that they're still kind of an odd couple that barely complement one another, it's still a giant mess of a race to the finish. Number 2. Foxcatcher.
I feel like it's somehow been credited to Dave.
There is a point in time when one's enthusiasm for sports goes to extremes and begins to harm those that have come to love the sport they're in. Based on the real story of John DuPont and of how he recruited both Dave and Mark Schultz to train wrestlers for his team, this film gets insanely dark and makes no mistake about the story and what it concerns. DuPont was, for better or worse, a very disturbed man that somehow believed he was entitled to do whatever he wanted and made concessions when he desired and took them away whenever he felt like it. In many ways, he ruined more lives than just his own. Number 1. Step Up.
I'm sorry, you got a problem?
It's amazing what can happen when you give people a chance, especially when it comes to giving a person a second chance when they desperately need it and are ready and willing to put boots on the ground and get to it. Tyler is the kind of guy that's been around and seen and done a few things, but he's also the kind of guy that needs to find something worth fighting for if he's going to have any kind of life, and when it comes to dancing and a chance at something real, he's more than willing to throw down and make it happen. Channing Tatum is more than muscles and a handsome face.